Are you alive? How are you feeling? Absolute big red day out of nowhere. We end up getting the Mt. Gox news, and obviously the market has taken it pretty badly. Are you alive? Can I poke you? How are you feeling? Absolutely crazy. Crazy to see how all of a sudden we got a massive red day. And what we are starting to get a big show today, guys. Reason being is we have the two options. We are officially losing trend. We're losing trend on Bitcoin. We're losing trend on altcoins. We're losing the main daily trend where we started off from 16,000 all the way to 25,000. And now the question is this a dip? Is it a short-term dip? Question is, a few weeks back, we had a dip very similar. We had the same size sort of candle, and it ended up being a really big buying opportunity. Or is this the start of depression? Is this selling pressure of Bitcoin over the next few weeks gonna finally give us the reason of why we're not gonna get past the level, and every single buy-up zone is gonna get sold into, and we can actually officially get depression? We've been speaking about where are we on the market cheat sheet, where are we emotionally, and now it comes down to this. So guys, the first thing I want you to do before we start off the show, I want you to breathe. This isn't the year that you make the millions. It never has been. We spoke about this year being coming out of a bear market, ranging for a while, hoping to get a 30K and all these different zones. Breathe, my friend. How are you? How big is this, bro? Are we gonna have depression?
I'm breathing. I'm just doing what you're saying. I'm just breathing, bro. I'm just breathing. Right now, I'm just breathing.
Breathe. Is this a possibility, Ron? Depression. Is it a possibility? They spoke about it, and what depression means. Too much selling pressure, we go up, we get sold into for a few weeks, maybe even a few months. Does it make sense with the news that has just come out and what's just happened?
We could get some sustained selling. We could get some sustained selling for a while. You got the Mt. Gox Bitcoin Go.
Where are you, bro? Are you on holiday?
You got the Mount. I'm not. I'm actually having a drip. You see, I'm getting strong. I'm having a power drip. You see,
so
here it is, and I am just. Yeah, I'm getting a drip so I can be super strong. Yeah.
So you can be super strong. Okay, amazing, bro. I'm going to bring you back now. We're going to get the show going. And guys, breathe. We have a big show today. Let's speak about what we're doing next. If we do decide to go into depression, let's speak about how our trading strategy changes. We're still on par. And for me, it's still a 2024, 2025 bull run. This is the year that we learn. This is the year that we prep. And let's look at the two different main scenarios that we can get out of this current dump. No more wasting times. Miller, push a button and let's get into the show. Let's hit it.
Click. Have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click. When the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the charts, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper, click. Time to be dedicated, sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target, and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror on the wall, Master Sheldon tell us all. We got Sheldon on the charts, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper, click. Enter the sniper.
Yo, Banter fam, how are we feeling? Put in the comments. How are you feeling? Are you having a heart attack or are you fine? Have you got cash or are you 100% in the market? Say yo, say what's up in the comments. I want to see how you guys are doing. James has been fired. I think Run has fired him. Run, just give me a thumbs up in the back and if my mic is better. That's better. Amazing. James, I think, has been fired. What's happening, guys? What's up? We got Marty over here. We got James. We got French Toaster. What's happening? Yo.
I think I think the community should vote whether they want James or 𝗲𝗲. So we should put them both on the screen, and then the community should vote whether they want to keep James or 𝗲𝗲.
Okay, Mila, you need to put on your camera.
I don't think that's very fair.
It's not fair. Why? Okay,
𝗲𝗲's gonna win.
Guys, here's the options. Here's the option. There's the
Okay, guys, no, come on, let's be fair. Oh, guys, are we doing James? Are we keeping James or are we keeping 𝗲𝗲? You guys vote in the comments. Vote in the comments that we keep keeping James or 𝗲𝗲. The community gets to decide.
amazing. Guys, I see some great comments here. I really do. Cash, all trades stopped out. Success means what I'm doing is working, holding cash. Some dry powder. Amazing. We've got some that don't have cash. Okay. We will work and we'll work in the show. We've got almost 100% in. Amazing. So there's a big diversification. Some are learning stop losses and they know that these big red days, they come every now and then. You do probably get 2-3 big days in a year where you get this crazy red candle that comes out of nowhere. And it does hit. It hits pretty hard, and ultimately you have to always be prepared, some dry powder for any big days like this. But I think the big question is, is this going to be prolonged? Is this something that can create a downtrend for the next few weeks? We had a great January, we had a good February even, and now it's the question of how far is this going to actually go. So I see many people both in and out. So they got money and they got cash. Miller, James, you've been fired, brother. Much love. It's been an honor. I appreciate all the time, all the efforts. You've been a great soldier, my friend. Thank you so much for your work. Miller, you hired.
Thanks.
Amazing. Okay, let's jump in, guys. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, join Sniper School. Everything is below in the description. And let's have a look quickly. So the first thing is, let's go through what just happened. We obviously were holding support pretty well, and we're holding it nice. And trend lines, love them or hate them, they do bring a good sense of time. And what that meant was, whenever we dropped this trend, you could expect a little bit of acceleration to the downside or the upside, either way that we broke it. And you can see over here, as soon as we broke the trend line, how all of a sudden price has started to accelerate to the downside. So you're going to learn to love trend lines in your trading journeys, because you're going to track them and you're going to know when to tighten stop losses and when to protect your risk. Whenever we're near and we're holding, you just tighten up. And if you tighten up, if it breaks, all of a sudden it accelerates, and now you're sitting in cash. So guys, there's lots of time this year. I don't want you to sit and say, this is over now, I just got hit, these sort of things. Amazing. This is probably going to happen a lot throughout this year. So be prepared and just learn from the previous mistakes. And this is one of them to learn from, that will help you a lot. Just when to tighten up your risk. At any point, the market's going to be at a 50-50 decision-making point. And when it gets there, it's time to crunch up and time to protect yourself. Same as when we were touching the 25K. We hit it many times and we knew it's a make or break. It's either one of the biggest rejections coming of the year, or it's going to be the biggest breakout. And ultimately, it's another time for you to focus on tightening up. But like I said, there is time. Now, the next thing, guys, that was quite important was the moving averages, right? So we've got two big ones now when it comes to the daily. We had the 50 moving and we have the 200 moving. And we had the golden cross. We ended up getting from the golden cross a little bit of strong momentum within the market. And then basically we started fighting the higher time frame weekly moving averages. But what we were waiting for is, by us breaking these lines, the main thing you want to know is holding support. You want to hold them. As long as you hold them, things are good, right? If you look over here, you look at the 50. As long as we hold the 50, we are clearly in an uptrend. And it's a shorter term uptrend. The big one is obviously the 200-day moving average. That's the one we spoke about for a while. And as long as we stayed below that, you could see how long we stayed in a downwards market. So the first thing that we are seeing is definitely we lost the 50. And that is a slight concern when it comes to the shorter time frames now. And what we're now looking at is, okay, well, so the next month at the moment, or the next few weeks at the moment, are looking not so good, right? But the big picture is, how are we looking for the year? And this comes within the 200 days. So we have cracked the first one. And that for me is now indicating a short-term downtrend, definitely. And there is a possibility of us coming up to come test that at any point. And this might be a great opportunity to maybe slightly de-risk if you have capital in there that you're not afraid to lose. Now, that you can't afford to lose. Now, what's great as well is the dominance. I'll speak about the dominance in a sec, but whatever's happening on the Bitcoin chart is what's happening on the altcoin charts. So for example, if we get a test and we come up over here on an area where it's a retest now, it's also basically a retest within altcoins too. And it's time to slightly de-risk if you have money that you can't afford to lose. Now on the higher time frame, if we look at 200-day moving average, okay, we broke this. This was a big indication of something that was months and months and months to the downside, and we broke that. And currently, we still hold that. And what it's basically saying on the high time frame is 20K Bitcoin or 19,700 Bitcoin is still a bullish market, and it's still something that we are holding strong support. So did we break major levels? Not just yet, but we do have another major level where things could get really, really, really bad. But for now, we do hold that, and we still hold the momentum. And I think the big question is, is this a short-term dip? Are we buying a short-term dip? And I got this basically to show you here now. We lost the 50. So first, bad tick in the box, right? Secondly, what we have is one more support trend line. And I basically took this current move over here, which is basically like an uprising wedge that's happening. And there's one more trend line. We broke the original trend line. There's one more. We lose that one. Obviously, now we start to accelerate even further down. Now, right now, we have bounced and we are holding, and it is showing that low of 22,000 is a support. We lose that. Now we start looking at our next levels of how bad could this get and where are the levels, possible bounces, anything like that. And I've taught you guys many times, what we have at the moment is we have a few blocks of where this price could go down to, right? And then the way to track that, like I said, is you've got two major tops with the trend line on the top. So whichever one we bounce on and we break this trend line over here is the indication of that was the temporary support and these are levels. So we won't know exactly which one it will bounce on here, but this is the trend line that will indicate which support we actually bounced on. So you want to track this, and it's basically showing the momentum to the downside or anything like that. So we have one support over here. Then we have a few horizontals, and the horizontal is the previous one that we dropped in. Now, the last time Bitcoin did drop to 21.5, we ended up bouncing and going all the way to 25,000. So if people to say, oh, this could be something that goes really far down, we were here, 2 weeks ago, and we did bounce. So the question is, if we do hold, we got two levels. We got 22,000, 21,500. We hold these levels and we break that trend line. Now things look good. Not crazy. We will need the higher high after that, because what I do have is maybe this scenario. And this scenario would maybe give an opportunity to exit the market. Not this one over here. Maybe head and shoulders. We basically have the left shoulder over here. We have the head. Maybe there's a lower high. This would be the big exit point, and to the downside to the lower areas. So for now, we do have some lines of support, and let's go back to them and speak about these levels quickly. So we got the 21.5, okay? Then what we have is small gaps. So it shows you where price could increase to the downside. So we lose the 22,000, 21.5, next major support. Then we have 20,000, and then we have the big one. And the big one is where we go all the way back down to the lows, where we go all the way back down to the 18,000, if not possibly making the lower low. Now, this is where this interesting discussion comes into play. Now, many have said that this is not correct, and many of them said that they have. And I've always agreed with this chart when it comes to actually motion. I just feel if you just came off a market that just came down 80% or 90% within 1 year, I kind of feel it needs a little bit of cool off time. A little bit of cool off time, get people used to the lower range prices, and then we can reset and start within a new bull market or something like that. So I believe the time frame, and it's like we were here, in the last 2-3 weeks, and it's like, from here, do we just go here? Like, it doesn't make sense how we could just go from here back to areas of all-time highs. We would have to range for a little while. And what surprised me is on the last little bull leg that we had a lot of people that still had money. And for me, it's like, I'm still learning. This was officially my first crazy bear market and things like that. But the way it seems and what I heard from 2018 and 2019 is they basically squeezed everyone to the end until max pay, no one had money. And then all of a sudden, the market started to recover. And what that does is these people come all the way back and they buy at higher levels. And, basically the fish get eaten by the sharks many times. And this time when we bounced, people still had money. People were FOMOing in and they were ready to go. And that's why I still thought possibly maybe there is a little bit of depression or a boring or a sideways market to come. So we can truly flush them all out. and then the possibilities. So there is an area, and if that inverse head and shoulders or something like that starts to play out, maybe with this Mt. Gox and them releasing, Run, I don't know if you can just answer 2 seconds on this. How long is it for these guys that they can sell these Bitcoin? Like, how long would you say this is? You know, they have this Bitcoin now. I don't think they're going to just sell it.
So
They get it in
if
unlock.
you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Hold on a second. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you, bro.
Yeah, so there's conflicting reports. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. The document that I'm reading says that they want to make all the payments by the end of September to September 30th, 2023, which means they're going to release the Bitcoin slowly but up until the end of September 2023. It says, having obtained permission from the court, the Rehabilitation Trustee has changed the base repayment deadline, early lump sum repayment, and intermediate repayment date from 31st of July to September 30th. So it looks like they could trickle into the market between March and September for 6 months.
So it's crazy how you said that. This is October, September. Crazy. If they have this Bitcoin, what will, you spoke about it this morning. Why would someone be buying right now if they know there's so much Bitcoin in the market possibly being sold?
Yeah,
like,
I would rather wait.
Reason?
I would rather wait.
But would this not now just incline that there could be a slow dripping market for a little while? And every time we get somewhere, possible drown, and just bring this little bit of down. I don't think we get a lower low just yet, but I do think a nice little drip market for a while possibly makes sense, which means from next week, we're changing our strategy slightly. We do have to get used to some shorting. We do have to get to some farming. We do have to change our
100%.
But this is something that's just changed everything, and we just got to adjust to it, right? Just for people mentally right now. They were bullish a week ago. Now what do you do? What does Run do right now? Well, how does Run's strategy change from what you did last week? I know you only push the buy button. But
I did a whole show yesterday. And on the show yesterday, I basically said, like, we wait for the coins to hit the market, and then we start filling up our bags because it's generational buying opportunities. I don't know when you're ever going to have 140,000 Bitcoin hit the market again. Okay, maybe the only other time is when Grayscale, if they ever liquidate the Grayscale fund.
But you had an interesting discussion this morning. Why would the money not go into altcoins, the Bitcoin?
So some of the Bitcoin money may go. So like if you've had, I don't know, the average creditor has $1 million on Mt. Gox, right? So like think about that. The average creditor on Mt. Gox is getting $1 million that he never had before. So imagine like one day you don't have $1 million, the next day you got $1 million. Just think about like the psychology behind that. Question is, what do you do? Do you hold it in Bitcoin, or do you hold it in Bitcoin, or do you go and buy altcoins? So I think a lot of people would actually buy altcoins because, hey, if I got $1 million today in Bitcoin, I wouldn't keep it in Bitcoin. I'd buy altcoins, right? That's what you would do.
It's very true, and that's why I brought up the Bitcoin dominance chart, as you said.
Dominance will go down.
That it's been good, but dominance has just broke 50 MA, and it's looking to the downside. So
I see people in the comments are saying, "Get well, mate. I'm well. I'm just doing this to get like a boost. I'm very well. Nothing's wrong. It's just this is just like vitamins and stuff to get you going."
Hey, you got a little bit of a party this weekend. Must have fun, bro. Get yourself boosted up. Go boost it up. I saw your costume. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Amazing. So guys, as you can see, dominance. This was interesting. We've been expecting a downwards leg, and now all of a sudden we are getting dominance starting to lose support. And this could start a downwards push within dominance. Maybe it's interesting. Guys, we can't. This is one of the scenarios of me speaking about a possible depression, or maybe we have to prep for both. We have two basic views of the market right now. Temporary dip, Bitcoin attempts 25K again within the next 2-3 weeks, right? Because you still can't deny that if you look at the higher time frames within the charts. And let me have a look here and take us off. Come on, all these RSIs only lifting the floor now. You look at many of them. You start going down the list and you start looking at these tokens, and you're like, look at Cardano. Like, look at this. This is crazy. This is like literally straight month for month. Where is the slight relief bounce? So we're not counting out yet that from here's new lows or things like that. But we're just asking the question, is this a small dip or is it a dip that's going to last for a few weeks? And we need to prep in case it is the second scenario of the longer term drip dry. We need to change our strategy slightly. We can be looking at farming a lot more Bitcoin. I'm going to be showing you guys how to trade Bitcoin pairs, Ethereum pairs. We have to shift the mind if the market decides to go in that range, because what it means is the market's still going to move 30% up, 30% down. But it's not going to break crazy highs and crazy lows. It's literally just going to trend like this up to the downside. And we have to have the strategy to match it. But you can't deny you are getting generational entries in these areas. Look at many of these tokens from where they've come. And on the monthly, the RSIs. What's your thoughts on these monthlies, bro? You look at this chart like this.
You know what? I realized I've done this whole thing wrong, bro.
Yeah.
I thought someone said buy the drip. So I came here and got a drip. They were saying buy the dip. I'm sitting here with a drip here. I thought people were saying buy the drip. Just buy the dip. Ugh, damn it. I'm here for nothing.
Okay, do both, bro. You. But look at the monthly, guys. This is, you got to remember again where you're at. Like, if you're expecting depression, you're expecting basically 10% of what happened within the last 12 to 18 months. This has been, for me, the worst. This is the worst. This over here is child's game compared to what we've been through previously. So you need to still keep that momentum thing. But at the end of the day, we do still want to make short-term money. We still want to make cash within the market. But I do want to show you guys many of these tokens, how the stocks have just come off the floor over here. And I do think we're in ranging phase. I think we're going to range. I think the market's going to range. And this is a brilliant time for us to accumulate tokens, and a brilliant time for us to build our portfolios. I'm only expecting higher levels within the end of 2024, 2025. We've always been saying that's when we're expecting true bull market. Right now, it is still respecting the same cycle we've been in many times. But you can still see, I know it's a red day and everyone's very sad and things like that, which you have the right to be. But still remember with a lot of these tokens where we actually are in the very higher time frame views. Now, the next thing that was quite interesting, and it's so annoying. Like, we have a boiled up Bitcoin. Everything's on par. And what drains us? What stops Bitcoin from breaking 25K? Maybe offloading at that area. But we had a stock market coming down and things were looking like terrible. Like, why is the stock market going down and things like this? And then all of a sudden, let's see if I can get the right chart here. Let's get it over here. There we go. Then all of a sudden now we have the stock market breaking trend. And we have it breaking to the upside. So we get a bounce in the stock market. Finally, something that's been draining down or not getting the crypto market where it needs to be. And now it decides to go up. And now we have the crypto market that reverses. So it's quite crazy to see how these things all shifted. And look at the Dixie as well. Not raging up right now. So everything that we wanted to play out, played out. But obviously we had this big drop off. Let's look at the total market cap. I actually want to speak about the total 3. So the total 3 it's a big one. It's altcoin. So obviously we have dominance going down, but we do have the total 3 where I spoke about danger line. And this is where I'm speaking about the possible retest. And you guys need to just be aware of it. If you have money in the market, you cannot afford to lose. I am expecting at some point a retest back to these areas, very similar to the areas that we lost. So many of the altcoins, for example, Cardano was 37 cents yesterday. It's 33 cents now. It goes to 37 again to retest, and then it decides for lower points. When it gets back to those areas, you do need to de-risk if you have money that you can't afford to lose within these areas, because we have dropped the support trend line. We have dropped the 50 moving average now. And now we could be looking at this decent pullback, if not obviously like the depression. So guys, what I am going to do within the weekend now is I'm hoping for a little bit more action, so I can do some streams for you guys as well to update. I want you to just go through your portfolio now and see what am I too much. Like, if you have 30, 40 coins on this retest, you have to reduce it and you have to prepare for a possible depression stage. We have Bitcoin, 22,000 is a support. We have 21,500, which is also a support. But then we start hitting the gaps. And the gaps become 20K, 18K. Can your portfolio withstand that right now? And will you be okay? Do you have dry powder in case that does actually happen and they do go down to those levels? As long as we do hold 20K, I still think there's a possibility of a 25K break. I still think that we can go to the higher levels. But now we know both sides. We know there is a possibility of depression, which happens over 4 to 6 months. And then we have the possibility of obviously this being a temporary big bounce. And you have that trend line. Go back and make it very simple for yourself. It's all about simplicity throughout this year, guys. And we look again over here, this chart over here. As you can see, I'm not in the studios today. I'm here by the house. This trend line over here. Share screen. There we go. So this trend line over here. We break that, amazing. We're now ready for the higher levels within again, and we have bounced. Obviously, we want to hold the major supports, but Bitcoin, as long as it's above 200-day moving average, is still good. The question is now, do we continue the major bull rally, or do we go into a raging market? Guys, have a fantastic day. I'll update you guys all on Twitter. Run is doing a Twitter Spaces within the next hour and a half. Go on Run's Twitter right now. Go sign up and go. I think you can set a reminder for the Twitter Spaces. Jump on there. We can have tons of different guests, and we're going to speak about what's happening in the market right now. Have a fantastic day. Stay safe out there. Spend time with the family. Yeah.
Apparently, if 5,000 or more people join my spaces, we're going to enter a new bull market. That's just a message I've been given. I'm not sure if it's true, but yeah.
Okay, amazing. But you've been buying too many drips and not dips, bro. So you're ready for a bull market. Cool, brother. Okay, guys, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you all on Monday or within the weekend. Much love, Banter fam. Have a great